March 27th, June 27th, 2022 newspaper, Indian Express news articles. First news article is related to emergency, a black spot on vibrant history of India's democracy. Prime Minister describing emergency rule in 1975 as a black spot on the vibrant history of Indian democracy. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday said the democracy was trampled and suppressed 47 years ago, but the people of India responded to it in a democratic way. Germany and other countries in the last century, Germany and other countries benefited from third industrial revolution. India was a colony back then, that is why it could not get the benefit, but now India will not be left behind in the fourth industrial revolution. It is now leading the world. The unprecedented and then cited several examples, fertilizers being sprayed using drones, he stated. Next article is all about Shah forensic probe to be made must for offences attracting 6 years or more in jail. Through changes in concerned law, the government is planning to make forensic investigation compulsory in all cases where the offences attracts a punishment of 6 years or more, Home Minister Amit Shah said. Next article that we are moving into is related to backsliding in America. An arc of rights must broaden further. Instead of retreating, overturning Roe and Wade outline democratic challenge. In a democracy, and can a right once granted be taken away? As the world's surviving democracy, US had figured prominently in this debate, especially since Donald Trump rose to the presidency in 2016, engaged in a lot of anti-minority politics, and finally sought to overturn his 2020 election defeat. With the US Supreme Court's decision on June 24 to overturn the half-century-old right to abortion granted by 1973 Supreme Court decision in the Roe and Wade case, for a 5-4 majority, the court has said the American women have no nationwide right to abortion. Rather, state legislature should decide whether women can have the right in their respective states. Abortion was banned for prior legislation existed. Though democratic states would steadily protect the right to abortion, nearly half of the 50 states are likely to go the other way. In the poll after poll, majority of Americans, bordering sometimes on 3/4 of the population, supports women's right to abortion. So what the country has done is right, the popular will, but that cannot be principal criticism against decision. Courts are not fundamentally governed by popular passion or will, which can fluctuate from election to election, but by constitutional propriety. The key question is whether the right to abortion was constitutionally justified. Right to abortion was based on the 14th Constitutional Amendment in 1868. This amendment, the court said, allowed protection of liberty and privacy, something the state could not impinge upon. But even though abortion was not mentioned in the 1787 US Constitution. The first trimester of pregnancy, but the state could ban abortion in the third trimester when the viability of the fetus was beyond doubt. This whole structure of judicial reasoning has now collapsed. In court's opinion, the right to privacy stemming from the 14th Amendment is not relevant for abortion concerns not only pregnant women but also life of unborn. Moreover, the court said abortion is neither enumerated as a right in the original 1787 Constitution, nor it is consistent with the American history and tradition. Abortion was not mentioned in 1787 Constitution nor explicitly in 1868 Amendment. This is because women were not autonomous political agents at the time until they were given the right to vote in 1920s. Category in the US, as was true virtually everywhere in the world, women are autonomous agents today. Norms change, right evolve. Second, as the court doesn't note puts it, now can this majority decisions ignore rape and incest? Why should women carry the child of rapist father or uncle? If abortion as a right is dissolved, women can be forced to give such an unwanted birth. The majority decision of the court is silent on this important matter. Third, having a child is not simply a deeply moral obligation to the unborn. It is also a decision that affects the ability of the woman to participate equally in the nation's economy and social life. Finally, men do not have to deal physically with pregnancy, whereas fetus grows inside the woman's body for 9 months. If the men has the right over their body, which can be taken away by the government, why can't women have the autonomy over their bodies as well? Why should they be subject to the government's authority and supervision any more than men's body? Then that men are free but women must forcibly be chained to maternity is an idea whose time surely has gone. Maternity must be voluntary choice. There is no going back to notion of rights as they were viewed in the 18th century, unequal, unneutral, and unbalanced. With the Supreme Court's overturning of abortion as a constitutionally guaranteed right, America has taken another step towards democratic backsliding. Next article is all about lesson from Maharashtra. This article talks about, by all accounts, the law was failed to shore up the stability of the elected government. Many government has fallen due to the defection, and defectors have not suffered by cautionary consequences. To thwart the provinces of this law, Speaker can keep the defection pleas pending, and beneficiary party can use money and investigative agencies to engineer enough defection to hit the two-third threshold. Voters don't penalize defection, with defectors routinely winning re-election. Some have mooted amendments anti-defection law to mandate time-bound decisions by the speaker and disqualify defectors for the next election. The practice of politics is too wide for any institutional process to fully capture. Politicians are advanced at subverting institutional process, and there are many possibilities for payoff for defectors outside of the elected office alone. Moreover, the politics have the history of exercise of power by proxy, and disqualified representative can have the family members stand in their stead. Two measures with both short-term and long-term implication come to mind. First, political parties need ideological clarity and the ability to attract the individuals with a sense of purpose and not the love of power alone. This ideological depth, if reflected in the party organization, its political program will give members the ability to withstand the lean period of power. Every party has a committed individuals. Internal party processes must be geared to identify and promote them in leadership position. Next one is the MLA may be opportunities, but there is no question that political parties are failing to create intra-party forums where the differences can be expressed and resolved on an ongoing basis. Internal mechanisms of internal party democracy, from election to deliberative forums, are ultimately at the discretion of the party's leadership. Scrapping of anti-defection law would provide some institutional leverage to express intra-party dissidents, and while it may be more chaotic in short term, can lead to greater stability and political strength in the long term. West steps back, India shows the way. This article is all about at a time of distressing for in the social media, the streets against the near total ban on abortion in the West. India's generous stance on the termination of pregnancy is comforting sanctum, coupled with a moratorium on commercial surrogacy, and has a proposal to equalize men and women's ages at marriage. India's constitutional ethos commits to the protection of personal liberty through the Article 21. Abortion or termination of pregnancy is a woman's prerogative. Childbearing purely on account of their biological predisposition, socio-cultural constructs also subject them to disproportionate share of child rearing. Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 2021 is a step in the right direction. It ensures that expectant mother exercise self-determination in welcoming a new life to their home. Under the aegis of the Act, abortion may be performed up to 24 gestational weeks on the ground of the risk to mother's life and mental anguish, rape, incest or contraception failure, or diagnosis of fetal abnormalities. The Act navigates 20-week challenge posed by Medical Termination of Pregnancy in 1971, which is not to advance in the field of health and reproductive science. Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 2021 attests to the institution and farsightedness of the crafters, readiness for and desirability of the children's decisively shape and life trajectory of mothers, families, and children alike. Unwanted pregnancies unexpectedly curtail the life of the choices of parents, especially mothers, may limit their mental well-being and personal growth. Further, children born unwanted may suffer reduced opportunities. Illustratively, the World Health Organization links the livelihood of the children being born wanted to greater parental investment in their education. Since fertility, childbearing, and child rearing are unmistakably associated with marriage, by proposing to raise the legal marriageable age for women, policymakers are heralding welcome changes that delay the pregnancy. Prohibition of Child Marriage Bill 2021 seeks to push the marriage age for women from 18 to 21 years. Which holds the adolescent mother aged 10 to 19 years are prone to higher risk of eclampsia, puerperal endometritis, systematic infection in comparison to women aged 20 to 24 years. Children born to such a mothers additionally face a higher risk of low birth weight, preterm delivery, and severe neonatal condition. It is noteworthy that unmet need for family planning in terms of limiting or spacing the child bearing decreased from 12.9%. Together, the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 2021 and the PCMA Bill 2021, if enacted, can axe the vicious cycle of early marriages, consequent early pregnancies, and poor maternal and child health outcomes. Another underrated policy innovation that the government curated was the dissemination of surrogacy bazaars that allowed the renting home. Given global inequalities, India became a lucrative biomarket for surrogate mothers. The body of poor Indian women became bioavailable to the residents of the global north, spurring commercialization of motherhood and the commodification of women and their reduction to their reproductive capacity. In the country with a long-standing cultural lineage of revering women, careless commercial surrogacy appeared to be in stark contrast to the cultural ethos. Responding to this dissonance, Surrogacy Regulation Act 2021 replaced the commercial surrogacy with the ethical altruistic surrogacy. The act prohibits the couple who are not Indian origin from availing surrogacy in the country, allows only local with certified medical reasons, necessitating gestational surrogacy to avail of it. Ayushman Bharat Jan Arogya Yojana health cover 5 lakh rupees per family per annum is provided, and a wide range of package pertaining to the obstetric and gynecology are offered, while the Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana partially compensates wage loss before and after pregnancy. Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Matritva Abhiyan provides free antenatal care to pregnant women and every ninth day of the month, easing the financial burden of the pregnant woman. It is promoting safe motherhood through institutional deliveries under Janani Suraksha Yojana and quality respectful care in labor rooms. These efforts have culminated in a manifold increase in the institutional deliveries from 79% in the National Family Health Survey 4 to nearly 89% in the National Family Health Survey 5. Ultimate reward to the nation is the greater longevity of mothers, as evidenced by the declining maternal mortality rate from 167 per lakh live birth in 2011 to 13. Beti Bachao Beti Badao campaign called to ensure that girls are born and nurtured bore fruit in the form of an improved sex ratio of 1020 females per 1000 males. Yojanas such as Ujjwala Jal Jeevan Mission gave many women much needed respite from drudgery of collecting fuel, wood or waters, so they could partake into the gainful activities. Mudra Yojana have provided aspiring women entrepreneurs with a loan and sans collateral. Yet another scheme, Pradhan Mantri Prime Minister's Employment Guarantee Program, has advocated for higher subsidies for women. While the West is curtailing the abortion right, India is extending the ceiling of permissible abortion. Outlaying triple talaq, the government has addressed the constant state of insecurity faced by Muslim women. That's all. If you like the video, please do share, like, comment and subscribe. If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask in the comment section. Thank you. Have a nice day.